Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Talk to Me is by a couple of YouTubers. YouTubers now become Hollywood directors. Look at that. And guess what? They made a really good movie. So take note, Hollywood. YouTubers can actually make great stuff. Take notes. So, Talk to Me. This movie looked really intriguing when I saw the trailer. And it also being from A24, and A24 having a great, I would say, horror track record, I was immediately going, sign me up. Like, I don't care what I don't care what it's about. I just, if it's a horror film and it's from A24, immediately sign me up. Because what I love about A24 is that they're one of the few independent studios that will finance a film that big studios will just toss out the window. Like The Lighthouse, Hereditary, Midsummer, X, Pearl, and I would say this, I think big studios would just brush those aside and just go like, no, we're not gonna release this movie because it's either too weird or it's too out there, and we just don't think, a big audience will go and see this. And A24 is not interested in making movies for the masses. I would say the biggest hit they had was Everything Everywhere All at Once, where I loved that film. And then if you saw that movie was my number one film of last year, and won huge at the Oscars, which I loved. I was when I was watching the Oscars, what was funny about that is that I wasn't planning to watch the Oscars. And then a friend of mine said like, Jamie Lee Curtis just won. And I'm like, what? And then I think it's a Ke-Huy Quan. He won. And they're both in that movie. And I went, oh my God, okay, I have to watch this now. I have to watch it. Because I want to see this film win. And it won big, including Best Picture. And I was so happy. And I was in my living room. I was jumping around. I was so excited. And I was the only one watching it. And I didn't care. Because I was so happy that film won. Because I love that film. But anyway, so A24 is not interested in making films for the masses. They're not interested in that. And that's what I love. So, Talk to Me. This film is a play on the possession of like the, that stuff. But they change it around. They actually, are not doing the same thing where it's like, this person got possessed because they play with a Ouija board. Oh, they got possessed because who knows? Like that kind of thing. No, this hand that I believe they said was made of concrete, but that has a gypsy's hand in it. So if you technically break it, the gypsy's hand will still be there. But they said that this hand is basically a gateway. And a random spirit will just pop right up. And yeah, you grab the hand, you say, talk to me, and they'll appear. And then you say, shoot, having a brain fart. Or go ahead and speak to them. That's when the possession happens. But I love how this film takes a turn with possession. they don't play it like what I mentioned. They play this like it's like a game, but also it's like an addiction to them, where it's a whole bunch of these. I think it was around college students. They never really say how old they are. But each time when one of them does it, it's a different spirit. So it's not the same. It's, it's not just one, it's a multitude of ones. And I'm like, that's fascinating to me. They're taking the possession genre and turning it around and actually making, having some fun with it until it decides to take a turn. And that's so this movie was only an hour and a half long, but I was engaged through the whole thing. There were times where I'm going, oh, whoa, wow. Okay, I was not expecting that. And then when the second half kicks in, it becomes like that, we kind of screwed up. Let's see if we can fix this. Which has been done so many times, but with this, it works. And I never had a problem with it. But I think there was very little that I didn't like. I really can't think of anything really bad about this. The acting, very solid, very believable. And I also, like I mentioned, I love how they treated this not just as a game, but like an addiction. Like, it's a game, but then you're kind of like thinking about it going like, that was actually a lot of fun. I want to keep doing it like it's a drug. So I thought that was really, really kind of fascinating. It wasn't like a Ouija board or whatever you want to call it. Spirit board, whatever. Wooden board that magically talks to you through a magic triangle, whatever you want to say. It's not like that where it's just communicating through the triangle glass or whatever it is. I don't care. This one, it's actually like, even though it's a pretty much inanimate object, it has a lot of power to it, kind of like what a Ouija board is, if you believe in that. So it brings that element in there, but it turns it on its head. And like I said, like this one, you actually, like, when you interact, it actually like does that. And I love how they said, like, once you do it, it's 50 seconds or however many seconds it was. And then once that happens, it's like, all right, get it off. So, yeah, I thought that was really clever. And the directors of this, I can't remember their name, but I found out, like, as I was driving to go and see the movie, like almost driving, like I just left my house and I just quickly looked on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, stupid. And I found this tweet that someone did, and it said, just keep in mind that the directors of Talk to Me did this. And it showed the picture of their Ronald McDonald and that commercial, that sketch they did where it was the like, with your next Happy Meal, get a free Ronald McDonald. And I'm like, I saw that in middle school and that made me laugh. Like, I was not disturbed like a lot of people were. I was just laughing at it because I thought it was so funny. And then, especially the very end, I was just laughing because it to me, I love dark comedies. I love dark comedies. And that was the definition of a dark comedy. Like, he's like, Ronald McDonald's is all happy, but then once you take a bite in like a Hungry Jack's burger, boom, he starts becoming like all upset and scary. And so I found that so funny. So when I found that out, I was going, oh, no way. Like, that's really cool. So like I said, like, YouTubers can make some great stuff. It's not all just, let me just, put a camera in front of my face and just act dumb. It's not all just that. Some YouTubers are artists and creators. And I'm glad that, Hollywood is more or less kind of putting their, I wouldn't say foot in the door. I would say their toes in the door. Not their full foot, more like their toes, because they're starting to like little bit notice. And it makes me like want some other creators to go and make another film, like a Hollywood film. And the day I went and saw this, that's when they greenlit the second one, and that the directors will come back to write and direct it. And I was like, well, that took no time at all. And I was like, I was kind of thinking they were going to do that, and I see some ways they could possibly do another one, like maybe a prequel or maybe a sequel or like whatever. But I thoroughly enjoy this movie. But again, to me, I've said this multiple times. It's not creeping up into amazing, even though I can't really find a flaw, but it is a very, very high grade. Like, I really did enjoy this movie. This, I think, will be in my best of the year. Like, it was great, great movie, very surprising to me. And, when people ask me, like, hey, you want to come play with a Ouija board? I'm going to go, what do you think, I'm stupid? Absolutely yes. Kidding. It's a no. I'm never going anywhere near that. The moral of the story is, do not mess with paranormal.